My name is Margaret. I am 72 years old. I never imagined that at this age, I would learn what betrayal truly feels like. I always thought betrayal belonged to young hearts, to dramatic stories, to movies. But sometimes betrayal arrives quietly, without anger, without shouting. It arrives in the shape of a new door lock and a key that no longer fits. I was born in a small town. Back then, neighbors knew one another by name. We shared sugar, bread, stories, and sometimes even sadness. Life was simple, but it was ours. When I married my husband, we did not have much, but we had each other, and we had hope. We worked long days and longer nights. We saved every coin like it was gold. And after many years, we bought a small house. It wasn't perfect. The pipes groaned, the floor creaked, the roof complained every winter, but it was home. We painted the walls together, we planted flowers in the yard, we raised our son Daniel inside those walls. His first steps, his first school day, his first heartbreak, everything happened under that roof, and every memory stayed. My husband used to say, "This house is our gift to the future. One day our grandchildren will laugh here." I believed him. I still do. Then life changed. First, my husband passed away. The day he died, my house stopped sounding like home. The silence was loud. Every room felt too big. Every night felt too long. But I stayed because the walls still remembered his voice, and I didn't want to leave it behind. Years passed. My health weakened, slowly at first, like a fading candle. One winter, I felt dizzy. My chest felt heavy. My doctor sent me to the hospital just for observation, he said. But observation turned into days. Days turned into weeks. Tests, drips, pills, nurses, alarms, checkups. Hospital life became my new routine. My son Daniel told me, "Mom, don't worry about anything. Just focus on getting better. I'll handle things at home." His words wrapped around me like a blanket. I trusted him. I always had. At first, he visited often. He brought flowers, he brought magazines. We talked for hours. But slowly, the visits became shorter, then less frequent, then rare. Nurses would tell me, "Your son called. He said he'll try to come tomorrow." Tomorrow came, but he didn't. Still, I made excuses for him. He had work, he had responsibilities, he had his own life. I didn't want to be the heavy weight pulling him down. So I smiled, I waited, I pretended it didn't hurt. Finally, one bright morning, the doctor told me I could go home. My heart filled with relief. Home. My own bed, my own kitchen, my own quiet peace. I tried calling Daniel, but he didn't answer, so I took a taxi. I watched the familiar streets pass by, trees I had seen for decades, shops I used to visit. For the first time in weeks, I felt safe. Until I reached my front door. I took out my key, the same key I'd carried for over 40 years. The metal felt cold in my hand. I slid it into the lock. It didn't turn. I tried again, and again, slower this time. Nothing. For a moment, I thought maybe my hands were weak. Maybe the key was old. Maybe I was doing it wrong. Then I realized the truth. The lock had been changed. My heart did not break loudly. It didn't scream. It simply sank. I knocked gently, then again, and again. Finally, Daniel opened the door. His face showed surprise, but not shock, not guilt, just inconvenience. "Mom, you should have called first," he said calmly. Called to enter my own house. I asked him softly, because I was still fragile from the hospital, "Why doesn't my key work?" He sighed, like I had asked a foolish question. "We changed the locks. It's safer. You forget things sometimes." Forget things? Maybe I forget where I put my glasses. Maybe I forget what day it is, but I do not forget my own home. I looked at him, really looked. He wasn't my little boy anymore. He was a man who had decided something without me. "Come inside," he said finally, "but we're still organizing things." Organizing. Such a harmless word. But when I stepped inside, I saw what it truly meant. Furniture moved, photos missing, my husband's favorite chair gone, my knitting basket gone. My bedroom door was closed, boxes stood in corners, my life looked like it had been packed away. I felt like a stranger walking through a museum of my own memories. I asked quietly, "Where is my chair?" He shrugged. It didn't really fit the style anymore. Style, as if grief needed decorating. Then I asked the question that trembled in my chest. "Where am I supposed to live?" He didn't answer first. He looked anywhere but at me. Then he said, "You can stay with a friend, or maybe we can arrange a facility. It's easier this way." Easier? For him, not for me. I left that night with a small hospital bag and a heart full of cracks. I slept on my friend's couch, and in the morning, when the sun touched my face, I finally cried. Not because of the house, but because of the realization that my own child had decided I no longer belonged. But tears dry, even slow ones, and I remembered something important. That house, that was mine, legally, financially, emotionally. So I called a lawyer, a calm man with kind eyes. He listened. He did not rush me. He did not treat me like I was confused. He said, "You still have rights and you still have a voice." Hearing those words felt like breathing after being underwater. There were meetings, there were papers, there were things I didn't fully understand. But one truth stood stronger than all of it. I had not lost my home. I had only lost my key and my son's respect. Eventually, I returned home, this time with my own new key. The house felt different, a little wounded, a little cold, but slowly it began to remember me again. And strangely, so did my son. He came to see me, not with arrogance, not with excuses, but with tears, real ones, the kind that come from a place beyond pride. He said, "Mom, I thought I was helping. I thought I was protecting things. I didn't think about how it felt to you. I'm sorry." And for the first time in a long time, I saw my little boy again, the one who used to bring me dandelion flowers from the yard, saying, "Look, Mommy, I got you sunshine." We didn't fix everything that day. Some wounds take time, some never close completely, but we began again, slowly, honestly, gently. And I learned something important, something I want you to remember. Getting older does not mean disappearing. Needing help does not erase your right to respect. And love, real love, is not control. So if you are listening to my story right now and someone is making decisions for you without your voice, and you feel like a guest in your own life, and your heart feels homeless even when you have a roof, please remember this. You still matter. Your story still matters. Your name still matters. And there is no lock strong enough to silence the truth of who you are. And that is my story.